Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumors that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Ali AI. Start your free trial now.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Hi everyone. So my name's Sophie. I'm the Director of Paid Media at True's PPC. I'm the Director of Paid Media at True's PPC. I'm really here today in this room full of kind of PPC experts to try and change the way that we think about the marketing funnel, and particularly using PPC for top of funnel paid objectives. So we all know what this is, right? Back to marketing basics. We've got the funnel, so awareness, consideration, and conversion. Now, historically and still today, PPC and search in particular is pitched as this kind of lower funnel only strategy. But can and should we be using it to generate those upper funnel and mid-funnel objectives? Well, yes, we should. In most cases, PPC does work to drive awareness. So let's start by, we're going to take a deep breath. I'm going to take a deep breath. And let's imagine a future where instead of running, or not instead of, as well as running social media, video ads, big massive reach campaigns to drive awareness and top of funnel objectives. When a user has a problem, has a question that your product or service has a solution to and can answer, you can be right in front of them. You can get in front of them at that perfect time, instead of necessarily always relying on upper funnel campaigns and crossing your fingers and hoping that you'll be top of mind when the time comes. So with that said, what is awareness actually? I think over the years, this has got a bit confused. So we know when we're trying to run awareness campaigns, again, social media, video, TV ads, we're very clear on what awareness means. But when it comes to PPC, we're not. We have to remember that awareness isn't a strategy that requires the user to have a really deep understanding of your product and your service or brand and all the things that you offer. Awareness is literally the knowledge that your product or service exists. So, this stage of the funnel from now on, maybe forevermore, but particularly in this talk, we're going to refer to it as Google Help Me. So in terms of some user behavior, how do we quantify this? How do we look at, again, using top of funnel search in order to drive awareness? Well, research by Neil Patel Digital that was completed this year show that in 2020, 98% of people turned to search engines to find answers to their questions online. Now, we all know that user behavior is changing and it's evolving. And people use TikTok as a search engine now, for example. People use ChatGPT to find answers to their questions. But even today, 61% of people still use search engines as their primary source of finding information and answers to their problems. This research by Lunio, which if anyone hears from Lunio, please don't be mad at this pie chart I created. But their research showed that Google search in 2024, 8% of all search queries were questions. So there's undeniably an audience there. Again, people asking questions online, people looking for products or solutions. And hopefully, they're the kinds of questions that you can answer with your product or service. So let's take a look at an example of the Google Help Me phase. So this picture was shared on LinkedIn by Boris Beckerick about a week after I'd learned I'd be speaking here today. It's in German. But his search term was dog eats grass and vomits. So unfortunately, his dog wasn't very well, His dog is fine now. I've been assured this was a few months ago. His dog is fine. And he turned to Google to find, again, that solution. Now, this ad here, this highlighted ad, is a perfect chef's kiss example of how to use search to drive awareness. So we can see in the first headline that it matches the search query, and the two headlines say "Dog eats grass and vomits?" ? This is how you can help the dog. And the descriptions and site links there really help to kind of reinforce that messaging too. So they're talking about a symptom checker, they're talking about probiotics for dogs. So they really have kind of used this ad to not only demonstrate that they have a solution, but to build trust, to build expertise, and to position themselves as leaders in the market. Now, whether or not Boris then clicked the ad and converted, or continued to scroll down to find instant advice, this is a brilliant example of someone having a problem and you presenting a coherent solution to that problem. And even if he didn't purchase, what was achieved? Awareness. So again, our user turned to Google, they had a problem, they had a question that they needed answering. We turned to Google and our ads are showing on the SERP. Now, a quick show of hands, is anyone here deeply opposed to running competitor ads? Anyone? That guy. Okay, one guy, thank you. Okay, so my opinion on this is actually very fickle. So in terms of if I'm doing it for my clients, I think it's genius. I think it's a great strategy. If someone else is doing it to one of my clients, I actually think it's really childish, really annoying, and would never ever generate results. But competitor ads are another really effective way of driving awareness. Now, this is where rethinking the marketing funnel really comes into play. People will argue that if someone's doing a brand search for, again, a brand, that they're naturally lower down the funnel, right? If you're searching for Monday.com, you're probably already in the consideration or conversion stage of the funnel. But searching for Monday.com and then seeing an ad for a different brand, well, that's awareness. And I really want us to think about this because user behavior isn't linear, it's not straightforward. And I think we tend to think of the funnel as one clear-cut journey from awareness to consideration to conversion. But I want you to consider that maybe multiple funnel journeys can be occurring at the same time. So just because you've maybe taken a trial with Monday.com, sign up to their newsletter, that doesn't necessarily mean you're in the conversion stage of the funnel for all project management software. So again, multiple funnel journeys are happening at the same time. So why hasn't PPC successfully driven awareness before? Why is it something that we rarely ever do? Doesn't work. Oh, okay. So my slides are telling me I need a more thoughtful answer. So instead of it doesn't work, it seems like it doesn't work. And why is that? Well, PPC is a naturally conversion-oriented process. Again, we know that awareness is generally driven somewhere else, and product and brand searches, again, tend to take place in that consideration stage of the funnel. So generally, people already know what they want before coming to Google. Also, we thought, there's no discovery process. We have to wait. We put our search terms, we put our keywords in, and sorry, I'm just distracted because something's missing from my slide. So we have to wait. We have to wait for someone to type in the perfect search term. So we don't have that mass outreach and mass discovery process that sometimes we have. This symbol here is meant to say does not equal. So money in does not equal money out. Again, on PPC, we are so used to putting in money and getting it out. We're used to seeing that return on investment and that return on ad spend. Top of funnel and mid funnel ads do not offer that. Again, you don't get that quick reach at scale. and a lack of attribution. Until recently, not everyone was using last click attribution, and even if they are, it does not count for, again, top of funnel, middle of funnel advertising. So you couldn't realistically say that there's value in top of funnel or mid funnel marketing because you've not been able to prove that there is. So we mentioned social and video, and I think the main reason I want to talk about this is I want to encourage us to bridge the gap between what makes social and video so good at driving awareness and where PPC falls short. So again, there's that wealth of targeting options. It's not like running kind of TV ads or billboard ads anymore. You can still do mass reach, but you can make sure that only the right people in your target audience will see your ads. The content is discoverable via hashtags, topics, and trends. UGC, influencer content, you can see the product or service in use. You can see the lifestyle imagery. Generally, with either a video or the kind of static social media post even, you've got a great deal of room to go into detail about your product information. And again, that offers a lot of benefits too. And finally, interactive content formats. People can engage, people can like, people can react, people can share. And all these things are why we tend to prefer social and video over PPC for awareness. So why should we do it? Well, I think diversification is critical. I think it's so important that we have multiple methods of generating awareness. So a quick disclaimer, I might have accidentally said it, but I am not saying to replace your social, video, or other awareness efforts with PPC. But I think it's an oft-looked over opportunity that people should be using. So why? I mean, we've seen regulation changes, we've seen laws, we've seen the potential TikTok ban in the US, X being banned in Brazil. Things like the iOS 14 update on Meta. Was anyone else here for that? Do you still have nightmares about this? Good, so do I. And we don't have control over that. Algorithm preferences, product changes and evolutions. For example, if you were relying on video for action campaigns, they're getting moved over to demand gen soon. So we don't have the control we need to stick to a single channel or a single tactic. And importantly, our audiences aren't in a single place either. So let's take a look at what the ideal top of funnel strategy for search ads is. But first, a pop quiz. I'm hoping someone's feeling brave because otherwise I'm going to point at you and pretend that you said what I want you to say. So when we're not running shopping ads, performance max, demand gen, we're running search ads, what do we need? I'm in a room full of PPC experts. You guys know what I mean. Someone has to shout it out. We do. This is very true. Anything else? Anything that we don't need for performance max that we need for search? Yes, thank you. Keywords. And we need generic ones. Here's my soapbox moment very quickly. So I'm taking this opportunity to try and change some perceptions about generic keywords as well. Generic does not necessarily mean vague, broad or broad match, lack of intent, or long tail. I think sometimes generic is treated like a dirty word, generic keywords, but really all it means is not branded. So the first stage is that we need to find keywords. And what we're going to do in this case is find the right questions that we can use as keywords to address with our ads. So first think about the problems that you can solve and the questions that you can answer with your product or service. Now, if you're stuck for inspiration, here are some tips. So you can use the kind of formula, that's a loose term, but the formula of industry, product, service on autofill on Google in incognito mode. So accounting software, how, for example, and what you'll get is a range of questions that people are asking on that topic. Similarly, you can do the same thing in Keyword Planner 2, and you'll get a list of questions with average monthly search volumes 2. You can also use tools like alsoask.com, Answer the Public, for example. And again, same kind of thing. You put in your industry, product, brand, service, and see what kind of questions people are asking. Just said that. Good. Okay. And the other thing you need to do as well is just speak to your internal teams, speak to your sales teams, customer care, client services, look at reviews. And these are the kind of prompts you're looking for that you can then reverse engineer into viable questions that you can use. Again, some keywords you can use. So when, where, if you're really stuck for inspiration, what's the best way to, what is, how do I, how should I? And again, all these things will give you, hopefully, some tips of where to start with answering those questions. So for B2B, things like how can I get more done at work? Where can I buy custom product packaging? How can I automate my payroll? These are all questions that people are asking. B2C, what are the best natural solutions for back pain? How much pocket money should I give my 10-year-old? Where's the best nail salon near me, etc. So now we've got our list of keywords and questions that we want to use. How do we properly answer these with PPC? So some campaign structure tips here. So I'd suggest granular or very, very, very closely themed ad groups. I'm not saying skags. I didn't use that word, but very granular ad groups. You want to make sure they're as closely themed as physically possible. Create a separate campaign. Obviously, the objective for this campaign or these campaigns will be very different from your conversion driving strategies. Obviously, use a separate budget, again, with a separate campaign. I would suggest, depending on the scale of your account, maybe setting aside 5 to 10% to give this a try. And use target impression share bidding. Now, I know, again, slightly controversial. We'll talk a little bit more later about why. In your ads, you want to make sure you're offering the direct solution or the direct answer within the headlines of your ad. So like the one we saw earlier. Consider using dynamic keyword insertion. And for the record, I would never, ever normally recommend pinning. Personally, I don't like it. But in this case, again, you want to create that coherent response to someone's question. So pin some of your headlines to create that coherent response. Make sure you're answering the questions in your headlines. And then for ad extensions and ad assets. Now we know that all of these won't appear at once, but think about business names, business logos, price and promo extensions. Again, giving as much information up front as possible. So even if they don't click your ad, there is that awareness of your brand and what you're doing. And if you follow all those instructions, you'll have a gorgeous ad with a beautiful dog. He's my dog, that looks like this. So you don't need to say these words exactly. You don't need to say, do you have this problem? But again, matching what the person's typed in. Here's the solution for you. You can talk about the solution. And we've got some things here to help us drive, again, expertise, authority, credibility. So site links, over 9,000 5-star reviews, 12-month guarantee, award-winning solutions, about us. So again, all this information, by seeing this at a glance, will drive that awareness that you want. So how should we measure this stuff? We need to focus on viewability over engagement and conversion. Now, I know we talk a lot in PPC about CTR, CVR, making sure people click the ads, but in this case, that's not necessarily the goal, particularly if we are using target impression share bidding. And not only do you need to set that expectation with yourself, you need to set it with your stakeholders too. So make sure that they know that you're not going for clicks, you're not going for conversions, you're going for impressions, you're going for viewability. And if you don't set that stakeholder expectation, these ads will not be live for more than 10 days, 2 weeks before people turn them off. So impressions, search impression share, these are your two key metrics of viewability. How often are you appearing in the SERP, the volume of impressions? And for eligible auctions, how often are you appearing compared to competitors? And then for a bit of a deeper dive, we've got search impression share loss due to budget and due to rank. And these are all your optimization levers too. Within Google Ads itself, on the left-hand side, we can see the competitor search impression share table. Again, we're focusing on top of funnel here. So top assisting campaigns report. And this is how we'll get these two here. So click and view assist and click and view assist value. So again, demonstrating the impact that your top of funnel and mid funnel campaigns have. And attribution reporting too. If you're currently using last click, you've not switched over to data-driven or any other attribution strategy, you can use the model comparison tool to see what conversions would look like based on your current strategy. So if it's last click, obviously top of funnel and mid funnel will not get the credit towards any conversion. Or the data-driven model, again, it kind of distributes credit depending on, again, clicks and views. So that's really, really helpful too, because again, we're not aiming for clicks. So what are your next steps? What are you all going to go back and definitely do because some random lady told you to do at Brighton SEO? So start off by researching relevant search terms and queries. Again, that question piece, what questions are people asking? What solutions can I offer? Create closely themed ad groups. Craft ad copy in a way that demonstrates solutions and answers questions. Define your measurement KPIs and importantly, set expectations. Whether that's with your boss or your client, those expectations have to be set. Otherwise, this campaign hasn't got a shot. And then create your new campaign. In terms of optimizations, you want to review your key metrics, such as impressions and search impression share. And then if you're using target impression share bidding, which I hope you are, review how much you're achieving compared to your target and what your bids are. So in target impression share bidding, you set a max bid. You need to continuously check those bids and see if you're getting the impression share that you are hoping for. Again, review search term reports. Keep your ad groups closely themed. As you add new search terms, as you add negative keywords, your ad groups may kind of stray away from being in one or two themes. So try and keep your ad groups really closely themed. And that is it. I have run over slightly, so please don't yell at me. But yeah, thank you so much. If you have any questions, please find me over there somewhere. Feel free to reach out to the team. And my deck is on speaker deck if you want to look at this egregious green color again. Thank you.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.